Hello everyone and welcome to the FPL Cougars show. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kieran.
And today we are previewing Game Week 7. In this show we'll be analysing each upcoming Game Week fixture, predicting the potential key players, differentials and working out where those clean sheets might come from. We'll be discussing captaincy, revealing our teams and planned transfers, as well as our Cougar Cup picks and answering some of your questions. But before we get into the show, we just want to take a moment to say if you haven't subscribed to us yet on the platform you're watching or listening to us on, then do that right now. Kieran and I will be providing a weekly update, previewing each game week, and it'd be great to have you with us for the rest of the season. I should also say we're very active on Twitter, and you can find us at FPL Cougars, which is all one word. But Kieran, let's get that boring bit out of the way, and let's start talking about the football. Let's hear how you did in game week 6.
Yeah, so off the end of my seasonally meltdown, I've had a decent week. 77 points, but obviously lots of KDB vice captain gate happening. So I obviously smartly, in my opinion, wisely put the vice captain on De Bruyne. I was convinced Sterling would play, but no show and stayed on his bench, so I got the vice points, which is great. Ryan with the 10 points in goal, which is fantastic. 4 saves. All three bonus, which considering last week he got 0 saves or something, so I was thinking he might be a really bad pick, but he came up big this week. Trent with the goal. I thought the Liverpool double clean sheet would happen, but obviously not quite.
It looks so likely for such long periods in that one.
Yeah, I mean Chelsea looked decent, but I didn't think they'd score. I just thought it was just going to happen when it was a really hard game. They get that clean sheet, but not quite. Lundstrom off the bench. I did have a second bench like the night before the deadline, and I just thought, you know what, Everton aren't that great at the moment. I'll just stick in first bench and just see what happens. And obviously Zinchenko out of the squad yesterday as well, with no word of what's actually wrong with him. Not sure about that, but. The rest of my squad pretty much all blanked. Salah with that like roll on the free kick for Trent, which was nice. And then Donker, Cantwell, Pookie, Haller all blanked. 77 points, which was from 1.1 million up to 411k. So that's 700k green arrows. So one week of 20 points above the average, and I've got back up there, which is good for the time.
Yeah, that is good. It just shows how much it can swing after last week and your sort of despair of taking out Mount. Whereas look, this week, KDB you brought in just gone and bought you like a massive haul, which you wouldn't have got otherwise. So
made up for it.
He's probably paid off. Yeah. So I had quite a similar game week to you. I started Sterling and had him captain, and also had Zinchenko, and I got Lundstrom off the bench, and I had De Bruyne vice captain. Like you, not many other people returned from me. I had Pope with a clean sheet in goal. Alexander-Arnold was pretty much my only other returner. Pookie, Barnes, Cantwell, Mane and Dean all blanked. And unfortunately, I didn't even get 11 players out because Lanzini didn't make it through or didn't pass that late fitness test, which is a bit of a shame really, because after Zinchenko didn't play in the game on Saturday, I was thinking, Lanzini's like a really nice differential, definitely coming in, because I'd had him benched anyway. So I sort of fancied United to be a bit sterner than they were, and then obviously didn't play at all. And then Greenwood as well missed out totally, so I didn't even get the 11th player. So 69 points, which obviously a bit above the average, and that was 1.4 up to about 720 something k, maybe 730k I think actually. So that's all right. It's okay.
Yeah, decent in the end. A lot of people had their vice on Salah in the end, didn't they? So,
they did, yeah.
I suppose we'll talk about vice captaincy later, but you just have to make sure you're not just throwing it away on someone stupid like Pope in goal or something like that. You need to put it in the right place just in case. Yeah,
I mean, we were talking the night before, weren't we, about the potential of Sterling being rested because he had played the full game in at Shakhtar in midweek. Yeah. You and I didn't think he wouldn't get any minutes, but I just fancied that fixture, so I thought, well, if Sterling doesn't play at all, De Bruyne's going to get something. And that although Liverpool were in great attacking form and Chelsea weren't in great defensive form, it's not an easy place to go away to Stamford Bridge and get a big haul. So vice captain in Mane was never really like a strong consideration for me.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the manager of the week in the FPL Cougars mini league, Kieran?
Yeah, so the team name is Pentagon and the manager is Rim Krum. So we got 106 points with no chips played.
Wow.
Yeah, really, really big week. Like good 50 odd points above the average, which is massive.
Mm.
A game week rank of in the triple digits of 786, which is awesome.
Wow, nice.
And an overall rank of 5,294, up from 300k, so that's a big jump there. And he's 17th in the Cub League, so yeah, well done, well played. Yeah, he had went straight captain with KDB, Faithful Jota paying off a little bit with the bonus at the end. He's a Bernardo Silva hat-trick owner, which is great. And all of his defence return with double West Ham clean sheet, Burnley clean sheet, and Lundstrom. So yeah, well done.
That's a really good score. I think it's nice. Yeah, like you say, double West Ham defence and interesting approach with triple City in midfield. Like if one of them doesn't do the job, you got the other two there, and that's what happened this week.
Yeah, he had Sterling as well, which obviously didn't play, so he could have been in for even more points if Sterling had played.
Yeah, I mean that is a real. Taking a look at his team for any audio listeners, he's got Diop, Lundstrom, Peters. Is that Mariappa on the bench and Kelly? I think it might be, but that's a real budget-friendly defence, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Loading up an attack. Yeah, and we got to commend Omar Kashif and his team Barack Aubameyang. He's top of the FPL Cougars mini league at the moment on 446 total points, which sees him at 79th overall in the world after 7 game weeks. So that's pretty great going, isn't it?
Awesome.
Like that, yeah.
Jealous.
Yeah, I'm a bit jealous as well. I was just checking to see if he's used any chips actually. He used his wild card in game week 4, but apart from that, I think he's in a pretty solid position. He's got a good looking team.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. All right. Let's start talking about the. Oh, actually, let's do the Cubs. We haven't talked about the Cub picks, Kieran.
Okay, so I did pick Gineppo, which he ended up being injured, which I had no idea where that came from. But so I had to go to my backup, which is Delafeu, who obviously I think he was 1-on-1 when the game was only 1-0 still.
Yeah, he had a great chance, didn't he?
He could have scored, but yeah, he ended up blanking. Got a yellow as well, I think. So yeah, 1 point for Delafeu. Disappointing because if Gineppo played, could have got something. And you went for the troll, Callum Wilson. He's obviously not trolling this season.
Lovely man.
And obviously he had a terrible game, but ended up getting that gift, which was the 7 point, got 1 bonus in the end as well. So yeah, totals for overall is 9 for me and 19 for you now. So you're getting a big lead. Woo! And September 3 for me and 8 for you. So
Keek, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good about my pick for this week as well.
I have a feeling you're going to pick. So whoever's going first, I might be able to nick it off you.
Oh God, are you going to try and block me?
Maybe.
Okay, all right. Cool. All right, let's start talking about the fixtures, and we're going to bring up our teams on the screen as well at this stage. You probably noticed people looking at us. We've already made a few transfers. Should we talk about our transfers first before we get into it? Because it's unusual that you and I have made some midweek.
Yeah, can do.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me bring up my team.
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah, what did I do?
What's
I've completely forgotten off the top of my head now. Okay, yeah, I did Dendonka to Mount, and I got the money for the upgrade from Digne down to Tomori. Obviously, bringing in double Chelsea, great fixtures, like a 6 run of good fixtures or something. Against really bad teams. So, well, not really bad teams, but fancy them to do well at least. Tomori against bad teams. Hopefully, he can pick up a few clean sheets.
Well, Kante's back now, isn't he? You'd think so.
Kante is back, yes. So, and despite the 2 sort of free kicks from Liverpool, they didn't really give up that many chances.
No.
So yeah, fingers crossed. And obviously Mountain looks good. Kind of slight bit of cover for Abraham because I didn't really want to get rid of Haller yet. So they felt like 2 good moves, two free transfers. So yeah, I'm happy with that.
I like it. Well, moving on to mine. I've also brought in Mount Lanzini, who sounds like he's going to be out for around a month. I had to get rid of him before he dropped. So brought Mount in. I've actually taken my first hit of the season. I actually went through with it. Got rid of Ashley Barnes, and I brought in Tammy up front. I think he's due to rise in price again tonight. But like you, I'm drawn to those Chelsea fixtures. We'll talk a bit more about their stats, but they're looking really potent. I think the good news coming out of tonight is that Tomori, Mount, and Abraham are all on the bench for Chelsea's Carabao Cup game, so I'd expect they return to the starting lineup this weekend. Cool. All right. Well, let's move on and talk about the fixtures. lunchtime fixture, Sheffield United hosting Liverpool. You've got the armband on Salah currently. What do you? Yeah, I suppose you're expecting a big haul in this one. I think it's going to be tight.
Um, I don't know. I'm not that confident in it, but if I can't captain Salah away at Sheffield United, then that's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
Why would I have him in my team otherwise? So yeah, at the moment he's captain. I'm tempted by Sterling still because obviously he played last night, got a goal and assist. I think everyone went into hysterics over him playing last night, and I just don't see why. He's a professional footballer. He can't have like 10 to 12 days without playing in a game. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
So I think he had to play last night. And yeah, Everton away. I don't know. He might get some stick from the Everton fans. I don't know what his sort of history is in that game, but I know Aguero's returns against Everton are really poor over the last like 8 seasons or 8 fixtures. Sorry. So Sterling might be kind of overlooked. Maybe they're looking towards KDB and Aguero to sort of, I don't know, mark them out of the game or something. And Sterling might get some more chances. But I don't know. Maybe I'm happy enough to just own Sterling this week because a lot of people got rid. So yeah, Salah at Sheffield seems okay to me.
I think Liverpool's form is so good that it's probably difficult to look past Salah as a captain. I mean, drawing it all back, I mean, they've won last 15, having scored 2 in each of their last 15 games. They're looking good defensively as well. And I think Sheffield United have only scored 2 in 3 games, so you'd expect that this is one of those games where your double Liverpool pairing at the back are probably going to come in. Salah might get that clean sheet additional point, but I feel like although Salah didn't look right on it against Chelsea, I feel like this is a game you have to captain in.
And assuming Mane's injured, I'm not really sure. Then he'll probably go up top, maybe.
Yeah, he would have thought so. Yeah, and he was so dangerous, wasn't he, last season when Mane was out and he played centrally.
Well, obviously Firmino is still around, so maybe Origi's injured as well, isn't he? So Shaqiri will probably have to play. Would be my guess.
I think what Klopp said earlier in the week was that Mane had a bit of a dead leg, but he should return to training on Thursday. Okay. So I think it's still quite likely that Mane is going to play this weekend. Right. It's Lundstrom as well that sort of like the key standout player for Sheffield United still this season. An assist against Everton, picking up those maximum bonus points, 10-point hero off the bench. He keeps rising as well. He's just looking good, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Fantastic assist against Everton. Although the rest of the game he didn't really do much to, kind of flattered to deceive. So he had 0 XG in that game, 0 shots, and only 1 key pass, and that created the big chance. And yeah, obviously got the 1 assist and 12 points full bonus. But other than that, it's probably not sustainable. I don't know if we definitely can't look at him every week for I don't know, assists and stuff. Obviously, though, he has been creating big chances, but I think it's probably unsustainable season wide. But I think it's good to start him, and definitely against who has I got here? The Watford game. You should definitely play him there. Arsenal at home could be worth playing him. And then West Ham possibly a start as well. So even though the fixtures look bad, I think he's probably worth a start, and then 3 of the next 4 or 5. So
I think Sheffield United's defence doesn't look too bad either. I mean, they defended well against Everton. Everton sort of peppered their goal. I mean, we know Everton are a little bit toothless up front this season, but to come away from Goodison with a clean sheet in anybody's book is a pretty good return. Yeah. How are they doing in terms of their defensive output? You've got some numbers on.
The top 10 for their team XG across the season so far. They've conceded 69 shots and only 24 on target, which is pretty good. You compare that to Liverpool, who've got 16 on target, which is the best, and Everton of 19 on target. So they're only lagging behind a little bit, and obviously considering the quality of players at the back compared to the Liverpool and Everton's, then that's pretty good. So, but they've not come up at attacking force in the like of Liverpool yet. So I would imagine Liverpool can hit them on the break, assuming Sheffield even attack. Liverpool. Salah, it's got to be captain for me. So.
Yeah, I mean, the only sort of that's not really detriment to Salah and Mane's points, but it's just Firmino's form at the moment. Another great header away against Chelsea. he's playing way more selfishly this season. Watching that game at the weekend, he just looked like when he was getting into shooting positions, he was shooting rather than looking for that pass. So taking a look at his total shots, he's had 4 more than Salah this season, 9 more than Mane. His 4 assists this season are what Salah and Mane have combined. He's having such a stellar start to the season. I feel like this season is one where we're really sort of coming around to him as an option. I mean, in the past we've spoken about him and his forms look good, but I think the way he started this season, with his goals and sort of general all-round link-up play, he's looking like a proper centre forward for Liverpool.
We've seen it before. Every year he comes around, we're just like, oh my god, Firmino, like is he overlooked? And then people buying him, and he just trolls massively. So
you're not convinced?
I don't know. I would like to get him. I really would, but I know that troll history is there, and Salah and Mane are just so reliable, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, I can get that.
Well, I like the double up with them, possibly.
Salah,
Salah, Firmino, or Mane, Firmino plus Trent. That sounds pretty good.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? We had a question from Davro the Legend who said, is a defence with premium players really the way to go now that's such an attacking shift? I think if you've still got your Liverpool, double Liverpool defence, this is sort of a fixture to keep them from. Bookies have them down as the most likely clean sheet away this weekend. As I said earlier, Sheffield United only scored 2 in 3 games at home. And Liverpool actually the best for shots on target away from home conceded this season, having only conceded 7. So I think if you've got the premium defence or the double up, this is probably the last weekend to keep hold of it, because Liverpool have been a bit shaky at the back at home compared to last season.
I mean, I was looking at Van Dijk out instead of Digne and keeping hold of him, but it felt really weird to get rid of him this week before Sheffield United. So knowing my luck, I'm sure they'll concede, but it's almost a differential to have 2 now, and they're going to keep clean sheets eventually, surely. Yeah,
they will. And until then, Trent and Robbo are pitching in with these attacking returns. That's 2 assists now for Robbo in his last 2 games. Trent obviously scored that wonderful free kick. Yeah, at the moment, you don't really need the attacking runs off those 2 if they're going to keep delivering in that way.
Yeah, just soon enough, they'll keep a clean sheet with both of them returning attacking-wise as well, and then there's going to be big points. Possibly need to get Robbo instead of Van Dijk if I want to keep the double Liverpool.
Cool. All right, should we move on and start talking about Villa against Burnley? 3 o'clock Saturday game. The next 3 look good for Villa, don't they?
Next 3 good. Burnley at home, Norwich away, Brighton at home, and then they've got probably 2 of the worst fixtures possible. Definitely. Man City away, which is 100% the worst, and then Liverpool at home. Next 3 possibly worth investing. If you've got them, I'd say keep them for now. Difficult to say definitely invest in them now with those 2 bad ones coming up. And you'd expect them to maybe concede against Norwich, right? Away from home. Burnley at home could be a clean sheet, maybe.
I feel like that's going to be like a really sort of scrappy tight game. I could easily see it being a 0-0 or even a 1-1. I can't see it being high scoring at all.
Yeah, agree. They've only failed to score in 1 game so far this season, Villa, and they're 13th for expected goals conceded, and 10th for XG. Middle of the road. Like I said in a few videos back, I think they're just going to finish middle of the road this year completely. They'll beat teams and they'll lose to teams. So, yeah.
Is there any of their players you've got your eye on? You think could be good for anyone wanting to invest in their run coming up? These next 3.
So McGinn was obviously impressive, wasn't he? I think if you've got him and you're looking to maybe go off Ceballos or something like that, then McGinn looks like a good person to go to. From game week 16 onwards, I think he might even be a must-own because they've got a fantastic run. He always looks involved, despite his position. 30 points so far, which is the 9th highest scoring midfielder.
That's good,
and that's only behind City players, Liverpool players, and Mount. So, for a promoted side, guys never played in Premiership before. It's impressive.
Yeah, that is good. I quite like Mings and Engels. I know they conceded 3 goal away against Arsenal. Most teams will end up doing that, but they seem like really good. Whenever to be honest, I'm in the market for a 4.5-ish defender, and I feel like their baseline bonus stats are really encouraging. They're the sort of team, they're not going to score like a ton of goals, And when they do keep a clean sheet, their defenders are going to pick up a few bonus just because of their passes, interceptions, blocks, and tackles. Do you have a preference of those two? I think Mings is sort of like a bit of a yellow card magnet or a bit of a danger there.
Yeah, but he's slightly better on the baseline bonus as well, though. So he's slightly more involved, isn't he? But yeah, I think most opposition strikers that come up against Mings, you think they're probably going to have a tough time.
I wouldn't like to go up against him.
No, yeah, I've got down here. He's got thuggery kind of defending to him. He likes a kick.
Yeah.
Likes to probably talk in their ears, and yeah, he's a handful. So Barnes might not have the best time. Wood might not have the best time coming up, but we'll see.
That's going to be such like an old school battle, isn't it? It's going to be elbows and necks and like hands on faces and like scraps and fingers pointed.
Barnes loves a scrap as well.
He does like a scrap. That's why I'm a little bit worried. That's why I got rid of him as well. Like as much as it's going to be a tight game, this one, Villa and Burnley, and his stats been pretty woeful. I reckon he could easily get into a bit of a scrap and pick up a yellow. We'll see. Yeah, so Burnley, their upcoming fixtures are still looking quite decent on the whole. They've got Villa, Everton, Leicester, Chelsea, and Sheffield United the next 5. They racked up their second clean sheet of the season. I think it was against Norwich, was looking good. I think that's more than Liverpool now. But I thought they still looked quite susceptible. Norwich had quite a lot of chances. I think it was Tarkowski, was it? Dwelled on the ball, and Pukki ran through and had that big chance. Yep. Burnley's away stats, though, were another reason what sort of caused me to move on from Barnes. They've not won away from home in the last 5. And it looks a little bit like Wood's playing further forward now. Barnes looks to have dropped a bit deeper into that number 10 role. And it seems like Wood is playing more of like the central striker. He's banged in those 2 goals against Norwich, now dropped to 6.2 million. If things continue to stay the same way, with Barnes a little bit deeper and Wood further forward than Barnes, Wood could end up being like not a bad option for this run. Barnes actually just had 1 shot on target in the last 3 games, which isn't very good at all.
Yeah, they're very much like Jota and Jimenez and stuff. You don't really know which one to pick at times. But Wood looks like he's getting the better chances now, possibly. I don't know. It might be a terrible side grade to go from Barnes to Wood, but if you're looking to invest, then yeah, maybe Wood is the one. Yeah,
I think another reason why I was keen to, because I maybe from like game weeks 1 to 3 when I was really eyeing out Barnes, it looked like he was the main man.
Yeah.
And Wood was playing off him, and it looked he was just going to be involved in all their attacking output. But the fact that he's not returned in these last 3 games, and now Wood sort of jumped ahead of him a little bit in the pecking order. When you see players like Haller, Pukki, Abraham, almost Callum Wilson to an extent because Josh King plays out wide, but who are leading the line for their teams and playing nearly 90 minutes every week, you feel like they're probably a better option, a more reliable source of goals than one of the Burnley boys.
Are you going to make a vow to never have a Burnley strikers again?
Yeah, it didn't last long, did it? It's 2 game weeks. But learnt from my lesson.
Failed attempt at points.
Yeah.
Failed attempts to get on the train.
I actually, if I'd held on to Jota for like another 2 game weeks, he would have outscored Barnes for those 2. So
yeah,
another classic case of over-management in FPL.
Plus Jota's fixtures are finally turned. So
yeah, I know. But they've still got Europa. Anyway, I'm trying not to think about it. I think McNeil is looking quite good as well this season. He obviously got the assist for the the Wood goal. He's got a higher average position than Barnes and Wood in the game against Brighton. I think he created 2 big chances in the last 3 games. Less than 1% ownership too, so he's a bit of a differential. But like you, he's only ever going to pick up like an assist or maybe 2 assists per game. I can't expect many goals from him. So for 6 million, I think there's other options around.
He's just too expensive. If he was 5.5, then great.
Yeah,
but 6 million is just it's just too much.
Yeah, when you see McGinn doing what he's doing for slightly cheaper now, but at the start of the season he wasn't. Yep. Yeah. All right, should we talk about Bournemouth against West Ham because you've still got your main man Haller up front. What have you thought about him? It seems like he's not gone off the ball completely, but he looked quiet against a poor United team.
He did. His heat map was a little bit all over the place as well. So yeah, I don't know. He still has good fixtures. Bournemouth away is obviously a game where he can get goals. You know, Bournemouth like to concede. So like I said, I still think there's a hole in there, and I just felt it was slightly too early to get rid of him, especially with Crystal Palace at home afterwards, and then Everton away, Sheffield United at home. Those are great fixtures still. So I want to keep on for the time being. See how he does in the next game, basically.
Yeah, I think I had a look a little bit deeper into the stats to see what's happened, because the last 2 games he's had 2 shots. In the 2 before that, he'd had 8. It seems like he's gone off, the ball at a strange time, because he had decent fixtures in those last 2. That Villa game and United, based on how poorly United played, do you think he would have been a bit more impactful?
But it just says to me that he can still do it. He can get back to that. He's not changed. I mean, just like I don't reckon he's off form. Maybe it's just the rest of the team. Like Lanzini getting injured.
Yeah.
I'm happy to own for the time being.
A good player I wanted to shout out, he's also in our differential video that we put out on our channel earlier this week, is Yarmolenko. So he obviously scored in the game against United. That's 2 goals in his last 3 now. He's huge differential, 0.6% of all players own him. He's 5.9 million. And I've just been impressed by his shooting stats. He's averaging 1.8 shots in the box per 90 minutes, which is more than Anderson has at 1.4. It's obviously that million cheaper. I think he's got 23 points in his last 3 game weeks as well. So, yeah, looks like he's coming back into that side after being out such a long time with that knee injury. He looks much more of a threat than Anderson for 1 million cheaper. And obviously, I think he's, 1.4 million cheaper than Haller as well. I think I fluffed my Lanzini pick when I should have taken a risk on Yarmolenko.
Yeah, I like him. Mm-hmm. I was looking at him at the start of the season as well, like hoping he'd start the season, but obviously he wasn't to be. But yeah, he's a good player, and I'm looking forward to seeing him continue. He's not in my thoughts for the time being, just because I've got Mount and I don't really have any space for him. But but I do like him, and I think he's a worthwhile option.
Yeah, and their fixtures look good too. So let's talk about Bournemouth a little bit. Obviously, Callum and Harry picking up a goal apiece in the Friday night game against Southampton. What do you think when you see that Wilson goal? Do you feel like, how has he still had this luck after 6 game weeks?
Yeah, 6 weeks, 6 returns. One of 3 players to return in every week now, I think. Who's the other ones? It's Salah. No, not Salah. Aubameyang and Aguero, right? Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah. So 3 strikers, which is not
what we were expecting at the start of the season.
Yeah, we thought it'd all be big at the back sort of thing. Yeah. But yeah, Wilson obviously the cheapest of all of them, and obviously not hauling as much. But yeah, at 7.8, having dropped twice, he's probably a shrewd investment now. But he can't really be that sustainable, I don't think. A takeaway is tap in XG. He had 0 shots, 0 big chances, an XG of 0.0, XA of 0.05, and so yeah, he had a terrible game. And I keep saying to myself, this can't be sustainable. That's a kind of a reason why I got rid of him. But he's defying that, isn't he? So maybe just need to get back on him and just deal with it. Play with him for the season. You probably just need to own him for the season.
I think it's an interesting one because he looks so sort of lethargic. He looked like he was dropping a little bit deep in the first half, and he just looked a bit out of sorts. He was assisting the assister, I think, for the King goal that got ruled out. And then to score that goal right at the very end of the game, the jammy sort of mix up between the centre-back and the goalkeeper there and just walk the ball into the net. It's the sort of goal you absolutely love when you own a player like that. When you haven't got him in your team or you've recently sold him like you had, it's just so frustrating.
Yeah, well, I mean, probably Mount and Wilson probably have outscored KDB over the 2 weeks, but KDB's in my squad now.
Yeah.
And yeah, captain KDB, the points are pretty much, I think, still on my side, just about with the captain points. So yeah, and KDB going ahead is obviously, I prefer him than Wilson. So, and I've got Mount back now, so it's just Wilson I've got to worry about.
So what do you think about the other Wilson and Harry? Because it looks like Fraser's getting benched this season, which seems a bit inexplicable really because of how well he played last season. It looks like King's playing wide left now in almost what was Fraser's position, and yeah, Harry Wilson from the right looks like he's taken over a little bit.
I would almost definitely drop King. Sorry, not King. Well, if King's going to play on the right, I would drop King and play Fraser. Sorry, but I would definitely just drop Solanke. I don't know why he's playing.
Yeah, that is strange, isn't it? Yeah,
like Solanke over Fraser just doesn't make sense. But yeah, Harry Wilson does look like he's taken Fraser's spot. shame, to be honest, because like you said, Fraser was so good last year, and it could have been another big season. He was touted to go to Arsenal, wasn't he? So
yeah, he was. Yeah.
Sounds like that move is off with it, considering he's not playing at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, Harry Wilson looks a handful. Slightly worried by his sort of non-free kick set piece threat, because he doesn't do too much, but obviously he did score from open play this week. But yeah, across the 6 weeks so far, he's had 11 shots, 5 on target, 6 in the box, 1 big chance and 3 goals with an XG of 1.1 and an XA of 0.73. So I would say he's slightly overperforming compared to all of his minutes. He's got 1.1 XG and 3 goals. Yeah, that's definitely if you take out his big chances from free kicks, then he's not got as much at all. So I probably won't be buying or investing. I expect him to probably regress somewhat to maybe like a 1 return every four games, something like that, like an assist every 4
that
games.
Sounds about right. Yeah. I do like him though. I think he's quite classy as a footballer. He's good on the ball. You can see why he's at Liverpool and gone on loan to Bournemouth. I think with their fixtures, you think he's got some chance to pick up some returns. I mean, West Ham, Norwich and United I'm classing United as a good home fixture now, but West Ham, Norwich and United at home in the next 5. They look quite good. Arsenal, poorest defence. Watford, pretty crap.
Yeah, I mean, he's what, 6 mil ish. I mean, around that price, I'm looking at Mount because for the better fixtures, just about probably slightly better attacking team. But if you don't have that 0.5 more, then Wilson, why not?
Yeah, I like it. All right, any more to add on that fixture?
No.
Okay, all right. Chelsea against Brighton, the big one. We're both excited to talk about Chelsea because the fixtures have turned. We both jumped on to their players, each different ones. So talk me through a little bit about their fixtures because they're looking good, aren't they? Isn't it no top 6 or in the next, or 1 top 6 in the next 9 or something like that? It's crazy good.
But the next 6 are plumb as they could be. Brighton at home, Southampton away, Newcastle at home, Burnley away, Watford away, and Crystal Palace at home. So those are obviously all targetable teams. They're probably going to want to win all 6 of these. If they don't, they should be disappointed. With Kante back, obviously their defenses should get stronger. I'm excited for them. We've obviously both got on them. You've got on Abraham. What do you think about Abraham?
I liked it. It was the first time this season I actually watched him against Liverpool in a full night. Like I've seen his stats, and obviously he's battered the lower teams in the league in Norwich, Wolves, and who was the other one? Was it Sheffield United he scored against as well? I think it might have been.
Can't remember.
Yeah, I think it might have been Sheffield United in that 2-2 draw. I think he got both goals. But so he battered those and he scored like 7 goals in the 3 games. I just feel like watching him against Liverpool, he looked good. He had 2 good chances, which on another day he might put in the back of the net. He was through 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, and I think he had a good header. It just went over the bar. I think he's going to get a lot of chances in that Chelsea team. He's got players like Mount supplying him, Willian, Kovacic. How do you pronounce that? Kovacic in midfield. Yeah, so I feel like he's got a really good squad around him, and you're playing as sort of the lone striker in a Chelsea team at 7.4 million. It just seems like I can't overthink this. It just seems like there's going to be goals there, and with these fixtures as well, they're sort of lower half of the table team. So I'd expect quite a lot of goal involvement from him over the sort of next 9 fixtures I've got sort of penciled in. I keep him for.
Yeah, you've with Mount as well. You just need 1 Mount assist, Tammy goal, then you're laughing really.
Exactly. Well, it paid off the hit I've taken to get them in. So yeah, ideal if that comes through.
His sort of XG is through the roof really for the chances he's got. Well, especially the goals he's got. He's obviously got 0 goals against the harder teams of Liverpool and Valencia. But you like you said, he passed the eye test versus Liverpool still. So I wanted to get on him, but I don't know. There's something about him where I feel like he could troll slightly, because I think this Brighton game might be a bit of a trap because they've looked really good defensively. So I don't know. I think Brighton, they could surprise this week. I think a possible nil. Could they keep a clean sheet? Maybe.
I was going to say about that because I had a look at the numbers. I mean, they've kept 2 clean sheets in 3 of their away games this season, and I think I just thought was quite impressed by that. And they've also failed to score in 5 of their last 7 away games. That goes back to last season a little bit, but it makes me think they're going to keep it really tight at the back.
Yeah. It's just they look solid, don't they? Duffy, like Dunk. Who's that other guy? Burn, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then just that five at the back seems to just work for them really well. So yeah, Brighton should be confident in them because they've been playing well.
They haven't been doing too well, like in terms of goal output though, because obviously didn't score in that game against City, didn't score in the game against Newcastle. They only had 3 on target from 16 shots, so I don't think they're gonna trouble Chelsea. I think this is Chelsea's first chance of a real chance of a clean sheet at home this season.
I hope so.
If they can't keep a clean sheet in this one, then it's real alarm bells. Yeah, I really like Mount. I thought he looked good. You and I both watched sort of the Champions League last week and saw him pick up that ankle injury. It looked like he was going to be out for a while, but he came back in at the weekend, looked good against Liverpool, had that big chance right at the end. Needs on all corners, all set pieces. So I think his returns are going to be a steady stream. On the Brighton side of things, I got to say I really like the look of Maupay. I think that's how you pronounce it, Maupay. Maupay, yeah. I just feel like he's going to explode soon. It's a shame their fixtures are Chelsea, Tottenham in the next 2, but after that they've got Villa, Everton, and Norwich. But he had 7 shots against Newcastle. In the last 3 games, he's had the 3rd most shots of all strikers after Aguero and Tammy. Although none of the 9 shots in the box he's had this season have been considered big chances. But I feel like if he keeps putting these numbers up, number of shots he's taken, sooner or later they're going to go in. And I still think he's around the 6 million price point. So I think after these Chelsea and Tottenham games, I'm looking forward to watching this one at the weekend just to see what he's like in a tougher away game. How can they fare against Everton, Norwich at home, Villa away? I think it looks all right.
Yeah, I mean, their fixtures are kind of tough, aren't they? Well, the next 2 are tough.
Yeah.
And then they got a run of 3 nice ones. So, yeah, I think there'll be a point where we're going to be looking at Maupay. We're going to be looking at Jota again at 6'2". We're going to be looking at Adams at 5'7".
Yeah.
All those sort of slightly just under the radar picks at the moment, which are value. We're going to look at them sooner rather than later.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Ryan as well did well for you this week, 10-pointer. I think it's just like a prime example of why not to chop and chain 4.5 million goalkeepers, because all of a sudden they'll just have an away game, rack up loads of saves and pick up max bonus, and that's exactly what he did this weekend. Should we go on and talk about Palace against Norwich? Another lunchtime. I think it's 3 o'clock actually on Saturday. What do we think about Palace at the moment? They just seem to be a bit wishy-washy. I've got no real sort of interest in any of their players at the moment.
I mean, they should have won that game against Wolves, shouldn't they, really? Wolves didn't have that many chances, to be honest. So, yeah. Their fixtures are obviously pretty bad. The next 2 are green on the fixture difficulty rating, but Norwich and West Ham are scoring plenty at the moment. So, I don't think it's necessarily wins for them or anything like that.
Right.
Then they got 4 top 6 teams in the next 7 weeks. And that's obviously in those 7 weeks they still got West Ham and Norwich who are obviously scoring. So I mean, but their defence looks decent. 7th overall for expected goals conceded, which is 7.6 with 7 conceded. So they're slightly overperforming their expected.
But they're pretty much
on it. Yeah. So there's probably goals here for both teams, maybe, but I kind of see Crystal Palace scoring, maybe not. Because Zaha against Wolves, he had 2 shots, 1 on target, 1 in the box, 0 big chances, 0 key passes. He's still not stepping up.
Why do you think he's regressed this season? It just doesn't look like he's the same. Do you think it's because of that summer? But I mean, we're 6 game weeks into the season now. He just doesn't look like the player we saw at the end of last season.
I don't know. I could I think I listened to on the Totally Football Show podcast that he's been the most fouled player this season, and he had something like 15 fouls on him in the last 2 games. Wow! So he's obviously being kicked about all the time, and that can't be easy for a player. He's trying to just because he's into his dribbling and stuff like that, and taking on players like that. That can't be easy to get into the game.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how he plays against this poorer sort of Norwich back line.
It's true.
One thing Norwich have only scored 1 goal in their 3 away games this season, which was surprising, that one at Anfield.
Yeah.
You and I both had Cantwell and Pukki out. We've had a few questions in, namely one from Tito Cray, who said thoughts on McGinn against Cantwell. I mean, we sort of covered McGinn a little bit earlier and how much we like him. Cantwell's obviously a little bit cheaper. But we've had just generally a lot of people ask us about what we think about Norwich's away form and should they be considered. Had a little look back into it, and I thought actually that they looked quite good in the highlights against Burnley. So I just checked back to see how they compared. So if we compare Cantwell's home and away form, so at home he's had 3 shots in the box in 3 games, and he's had 2 big chances. He's obviously scored 2 goals. Away form, he's had 3 shots in the box in 3 games and 1 big chance. So he's only 1 big chance down away from home. Pukki, on the other hand, he's had 12 shots in the box at home in 3 games and 3 big chances. But away from home, he's had 6 shots, so half of those in the 3 games and 2 big chances. So
to be expected.
Yeah, I mean the numbers are still pretty decent for these away stats. It's not unsurprising that Pukki's sort of like shots have halved, considering he also played back 1 game at Anfield. But the fact that they're registering these big chances, I mean 2 big chances for Pukki and 1 big chance for Cantwell away from home, if they keep those steady numbers up, it won't be long before they return a game away from home. I do think this Palace game is going to be another tricky one. I think Palace will, like Burnley, defend in a sort of similar way, close the space down and won't let them play. So I feel it's going to be a tight one, but I think, I can see Pukki is heavily sort of being transferred out this week, probably for Abraham. But I think if you've got him, it's worth keeping him. They've got Villa, Bournemouth and Brighton in the next 5, so they've got some good fixtures after Palace.
Man United at home as well.
Man United at home.
Easy game.
Yeah, golden. So I'm pretty happy with Cantwell and Pukki at the moment. Are you alright with them at the moment in your team?
Yeah, I think so, but I just hope they don't lose much. If they blank this week, then they're probably going to lose value, which I think is a shame because obviously Aston Villa at home is a great fixture after that. But yeah, I can see Pukki getting a goal this week. Hopefully it's not Cantwell because I've currently got him on my bench. So
I don't know about Cantwell losing value as much as Pukki because I feel like there isn't many options to go down there.
Yeah, okay.
Unless people are going up, but yeah. All right, should we start talking about Spurs against Southampton? Another 3 p.m. game. Okay. Spurs. Son Heung-min's got to be the one we talk about, isn't he? Another assist. He's in good form at the moment, Keith. Do you quite like the look of Son?
Yeah, I haven't got much written down here for him, but yeah, he's looked good. People are thinking about captaining him this week as well.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I can sort of see that. But I don't know. Southampton have been okay at the back, haven't they? But yeah, Spurs at home, yeah, not sure. But I don't know. There's something about Spurs that just doesn't sit right at the moment. Obviously they lost in the League Cup to Colchester on penalties, so that can't be great for team morale. Obviously Ericsson is barely playing, being benched and on and off, and Ali's not there really. Just their team is just a bit all over the place, and I don't know. Poch seems to think he can be felt bad on, or just it's just strange.
It's strange. There's a lot going on behind the scenes there. I think he said. What did he say about the players? Like, I think he said something like to the effect that the ones that had been there over the summer had their heads turned. They still haven't got their heads back into Spurs. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Which 6 weeks in, you got to be thinking,
why? Yeah.
Because there's ages until the January transfer window, and you shouldn't think about that as a player anyway. Really.
No. Yeah, it's almost like they're sort of like second guessing Poch as well and thinking, is he disinterested with what's going on at the moment? Is he going to leave? Is he going to be around for long? Do we need to? Yeah, are we slacking a little bit?
It shouldn't affect the way anyone plays. They should play for the club.
No, they should.
Obviously, they play for the manager, but you go out and just do the best for your team, just no matter what.
Who do you like? I mean, what do you think about Kane's finish against Leicester? That was pretty good, wasn't it?
That was nice. Maybe fortunate, I don't know, but he did mean it, didn't he?
Yeah, he definitely meant it. Yeah.
So yeah. Despite him not looking great this season, which he definitely hasn't, he's actually got 36 points from 6 weeks, which is an average of 6 points per match, which is
alright, isn't it?
Yeah, for 11 million, you probably want a little bit more, but that's still pretty good.
Yeah, that's alright, isn't it?
I think we've all pretty much written him off this year. Well, at least I have, and 6. It's not too bad. So his heat map versus Leicester was a little bit all over the place. Played a lot of the wide/DM positioning, but he had 6 shots, 4 on target, and 5 in the box with 1 goal. For him, 6 shots is pretty good, to be honest. That's what we want to see from Kane.
Yeah.
So I think he's possibly worth monitoring. If he gets back to that sort of 6 shots on average, then I think he possibly might be worth looking at again. I
feel like he and Firmino have sort of like swapped how they play. Kane's dropping a little bit deeper and setting in Son, who's sort of like running beyond him. And now this season, like Firmino's on the end of things, trying to add to a number of shots. But yeah, it's a strange one really, because Kane, like you say, his average points are looking really good. But when you see Son sort of bombing on in front of him, and Son's listed as a midfielder with those extra points for clean sheet and bonus, and he's like significantly cheaper, I'm really interested in Son, especially. I think their fixtures are quite good now as well, really, aren't they? Their home games, especially.
The problem is he's super hard to own. Just because you probably want De Bruyne and Sterling. Then if you want Son as well, you probably have to go without Liverpool midfield. So it gets tough, and I think Liverpool midfield can probably score against anyone, even though they've got these tough fixtures. I don't want to lose them for someone like Son.
The only way I've thought about getting Son in is to downgrade Sterling to Son, and then use the money saved to upgrade one of my forwards to like an Aguero.
But surely that's not enough money.
Well, it depends how cheap your defence is.
Yeah, sure, okay. You'd have to do that on wildcard.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it would take a lot of configuring, and I wouldn't recommend doing it for a single game week because you'd end up hitting lots of points. But planning for their fixtures, I mean, we talked about them there after Southampton at home, Brighton away, Watford at home. They've also got the 2 away games back to back on Merseyside, haven't they, against Liverpool and Everton?
Yeah.
I mean, they did smash Everton away from home, didn't they, before Christmas last year? But yeah, you wouldn't sort of back them or want to captain them in either of those 2 games. So yeah, maybe wait until they're out of the way. I haven't actually got a lot of good thoughts or feelings or things to say about Southampton, really. I think their upcoming fixtures really stink. They've got Tottenham, Chelsea, Wolves, Leicester and Man City. I think they're sort of like a horrid run of next 5. Their 2 home games are against Chelsea and Leicester, 2 teams that create a lot of chances and good on the counter-attack. So I can't see many clean sheets coming in those next 5. So
yeah, possibly one of the worst runs you possibly have, really.
It's not good. Away games against Tottenham and City, I think anyone's invested in Vestergaard, God blimey. Yeah, you might want to be benching him. I do still think Gunn's a good option, because in those games he's just going to keep racking up those save points, despite him getting a 1-pointer against Bournemouth. Yeah, like I said, I haven't really got a lot to say. Che Adams finally registered an assist. James Ward-Prowse back in the goals again. 7 shots in the game against Bournemouth. I thought he looked pretty at it. Is there anyone in the Southampton side, Kieran, that's made you go, ooh?
I think you could guess that. No.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on then to 2 teams beginning with W. The relegation clash of all clashes. Watford against Watford against Wolves at Molineux. Repeat of last season's FA Cup semi-final. Anyway, Wolves' fixtures, Kieran, they finally turned.
Yeah. Two top 6 in the next 9 weeks.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, Watford at home, appealing for sure. Obviously, Wolves aren't really in form, but yeah, Watford at home, he just got thrashed 8-0. Is I don't know. Well, teams often bounce back from sort of terrible performances like that, don't they? So yeah, this might be a bit of a trap, even though it looks appealing on paper for Wolves. Yeah, then they got Man City away, which is obviously tough, but they've had decent records against Man City, haven't they? And then Southampton at home, Newcastle away, Arsenal away, which is, yeah, they can score in that game. Aston Villa at home, Bournemouth away, and Sheffield United at home. So, yeah, good fixtures. But they're a team on the decline at the moment. Obviously, that 1-1 draw, that last-minute goal for Jota against Palace might give them a bit of confidence. Not sure. Hopefully they can get a result in the Europa League. Guess it's next week, isn't it?
Yeah.
That hopefully they can continue. But yeah, Jota versus Palace had 4 shots, which is pretty good. 2 on target, 1 in the box, 1 big chance, which was obviously the one at the end. An XG of 0.69 and 1 key pass. So yeah, his stats compared to Jimenez, were much better. They were practically double everything of Jimenez. So maybe Jota turning into the form player compared to sort of like Wood and Barnes at Burnley. So yeah, at 6.2, like I said before, he's turning into value now, and we had it last year. He didn't have a great start, and everyone got off him.
Yeah.
Obviously, he got the assist in the first game last week, but everyone got off him, and then everyone went back onto him when he started performing. And yeah, with his fixture swing at 6.2, could be someone worth investing in, but I'm not going to say definitely though.
Are any of the Wolves players sort of like piquing your interest at all with this fixture run? Like before their sort of like downturn of form, I'd sort of pinpointed these as like an option I might get Bolly in for because of his bonus like point potential, and is also a bit of goal threat, and he was quite nicely priced at about 5 million. And obviously, Jota, I had him from the start, and I was looking ahead to these fixtures, and I thought, well, if I keep him through the start, he'd be good. But has their Europa League form put you off a little bit? Because somewhat for me, I feel like it's a bit of a poison chalice, really. Like, if I go back there, I'm just going to get irritated again when they have a hangover.
Yeah, it's possible. Just wait until after City. Then you got Southampton at home and that decent run afterwards. Just see how they play in the next 2 games in Europa, and then judge it from there. But there's going to be slight rotation, as we didn't really see that last year, but we are seeing it now of Europa. Obviously, I think Cody's the only one that's definitely nailed on.
Yeah,
now
definitely.
because Bolly seems to sometimes be rotated. Bennett gets rotated a bit. Doherty doesn't seem to be fit, I don't think.
I think he's playing in the Carabao Cup tonight, actually. I think he's back.
And then Johnny doesn't create much. Neves gets rotated occasionally. Matinho does too. Jimmy and Jota seem to play most of the minutes, but I don't know. Maybe you could go Abraham to Jimenez if you're feeling really ballsy, and maybe I could do Haller to Jimenez for the Southampton game in 2 weeks' time, assuming they look all right. Something to think about, I suppose.
In terms of on the Watford side of things, I can't really get too excited about any of their players. Like, they've obviously just come off the back of this 8-0 spanking. They got 3 home games in the next 5, but they're not particularly attractive ones. They've got Sheffield United, who will keep it tight. Bournemouth is the probably the best fixture in their next 5 and at home. And they got Chelsea. They got away games against Wolves and Tottenham, but there's no one that's really sort of standing out to me. They've not won in their last 10 games. They look a bit clueless and just sort of devoid of confidence against City. I mean, conceding a goal after the first minute, I don't really know what that says about sort of their ambition and desire. You'd think they'd just be drilled all week to keep it as tight as possible for as long as possible.
You can't defend that cross, though.
It was too good. But I mean, maybe someone should get out to block the cross. I don't know. But for only hold on a minute doesn't seem particularly good. And then to let the wheels fall off and be like, what was it, 4? You and I checked at like 3:15, what wasn't it, like 3:20, and we thought it was a joke that it was like 4-0. Like, how has that happened? But
it's 5-0 in 15 minutes.
5 minutes, that was right. And it was, I don't know, it just was crazy. So, no one really looked at him appealing. I noticed Delafeu's like heat map was like scorching in the centre circle from all the kickoffs, which I thought was quite good.
It was funny.
He's 6.2 million now. He looked good in that home game against Arsenal. He's only 2.1%, but I think there's so many better, more reliable options as in like the striker area that he's not worth considering. And their defence, you just wouldn't go near it now with, just off the back of an 8-0. Like I said earlier in the season, I don't think that Dawson has made any improvement to their defence. Seem to be worse. And also, I'll tell you what, I've got this over 30s team, which I'm doing. I don't really talk about it much on the show because no one's interested. But most of my over 30s team is, I think I've got 3 Watford players because they've got such an old squad. And I don't think that's going to help as they get sort of longer into the season. Anyway, any more to add on that one? Should we start talking about the sexy Everton against Man City?
Let's move on to the sexy.
Move on to the sexy. All right, okay. I've got written down here Man City's fixtures, but they're always good, aren't they? Because they're always going to be battering teams. But they've got Everton, Wolves, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa and Southampton. City have scored at least 2 goals in the last 7 games now. In the last 3 game weeks, they've had 19 big chances, which is 6 more than the nearest Chelsea, which I was pretty surprised about. I think they've only allowed 14 shots in the box in the away games this season, and 6 of those were against Norwich. So I think it was a pretty decent numbers there as they head into this Everton away game. It was obviously Otamendi who benefited in game week 6. Fair play to anyone who transferred him in. But is he sort of on your radar now?
But I'll probably wait for him until wildcard. I would think, which is I think I'm doing that in week 8 going into week 9 over the international break.
Okay.
I'm hoping Zinchenko. I don't know. We've not heard anything, so I'm hoping he's fit enough to play and gets in. Because I don't see Mendy starting 2 in a row really, considering his fitness. If you've got Otamendi, sorry, then fantastic. But I'm hoping Zinchenko can be fit. If he's not, then I've got Cantwell off the bench, but I hope he can do something. So if you've got Zinchenko and you've got other moves to do, I think keep him for the time being. I was convinced he'd start last week, but he has played every single, all the minutes for club and country since the start of the season. So maybe it was just a rest.
Yeah.
But it happens. Pep does it, doesn't he? But are we expecting a injury from Zinchenko? Maybe
I don't know. I feel like we would have had something come out of the club, but to not be in two match day squads is quite unusual. And like, they wheeled him out, didn't they, for the press conference before the game against Shakhtar? So usually when that happens, you feel like they're really in the manager's plans. That made me think, oh, he's going to be playing ahead of Mendy for a while. But then not to hear anything about him and 2 back-to-back fixtures is really strange. So, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully we'll have an update from Pep before this game week and find out what's gone on with him. But if he's going to be out for a long time, I do think it's not sideways, and it would be a good move to move on to Otamendi.
Yes, no, I agree, because there's probably clean sheets in those games. So obviously, Everton away is tricky, I suppose, but Everton are pretty bad going forward at the moment. Wolves at home, probably clean sheet. Crystal Palace away, probably clean sheet. Aston Villa at home, Southampton home, probably clean sheets. So you could see possibly 4 out of 5 clean sheets in the next 5.
Yeah, and his attacking output is so good. Like as soon as the ball comes in the box from the corner, we've seen this in seasons gone by. I think it was 2 seasons ago, wasn't it? He just gets his head stuck on the end of things, and he was a threat in the Watford box. Sadly, he's actually now scored more points at home in the league this season than Sterling has, which was really depressing when I read that. They've just had a big game. I think more points in that game than Sterling has at home this season. I've got to say a little bit like almost condolences to Aguero, captain us in this game, because his numbers were incredible. So he had the highest recorded XGI, which is expected goal involvement, of any player in any game this season. So he obviously had the goal and the assist, but he had a 2.59 XG. He had a 1.2 expected assists. He had 5 big chances and 2 big chances created, hit the woodwork twice. So I did think he was going to kill us this game week, and he damn well could have easily racked up a 15 to 20 point haul like Bernardo Silva and KDB did. And I don't think we've had such a wild rank jump, but yeah, those numbers were scary, really scary.
Yep, and scoring in every game.
Yeah, he's just been so consistent, hasn't he?
I mean, what's the record? Like Vardy was like 11 goals in a row, so Aguero's not got that many weeks to go to match that, and he could definitely do it. Yeah,
and I just got to shout out Adam Hopcroft as well on Twitter. I like reading his statistical tweets, but he put up an interesting one the day before yesterday. In the last 12, I'll quote from him, in the last 12 Premier League matches where both Aguero and Sterling have started with KDB, Aguero has by far outscored Sterling. So he's got 13 goals to Sterling's 7. And actually he's got more assists than Sterling as well, with 5 to 2. So I wonder if we've sort of seen a bit of a trend in that this season. I looked a little bit more closely at Sterling's key passes and big chances created, and he's actually not recorded any assists so far this season. So I wonder if sort of De Bruyne is taking the assist mantle from Sterling a little bit when he's passing to Aguero.
He got one last night. So.
That's true. None in the league then. None in the league.
But they'll come. Sterling's going to get assists, so I'm not worried.
That's going to happen. All right, so talk a little bit to me about Everton. What's going wrong there, I'd say?
We just look a bit poor defensively at the moment. Well, not really bad. But yeah, attacking wise, they don't look great. Sigurdsson has been a constant disappointment. 1 return in 6 weeks, I think it is, which was 1 assist.
Yeah.
Keane looks pretty crap up front. Calvert-Lewin, it looks crap as well. He scored
Everyone's getting sassed.
Yeah, he scored 2 in the Carrier Bag Cup during the week as well. But yeah, I think they need to start playing Iwobi. I think he played on the bench against Sheffield United, so he should have started. I think he's going to create assists, going to create goals. I think he makes other players play better. Yeah, they just look a little bit toothless at the moment.
Yeah, it's strange.
But defensively, they're 6th overall for Team XGC, which is 7.19. And they've conceded 9, so they're underperforming defensively, so they're conceding more than what they should do.
That's good then. That's all right.
So second best for shots conceded in the whole over 6 weeks in the whole league, 44. And then second best for shots on target conceded, which is 19. And then second best for in the box conceded shots, so which is 30. Yeah. So even though like I've got rid of Digne this week, I think it's possible to just bench him this week. Don't give up on Everton defence just yet. I think they still have decent fixtures after City. I'm looking at bringing Digne back on my wild card in 2 weeks. And obviously they don't look great at the moment, but yeah, their defence is still capable of clean sheets. And
I think it's just this Man City game, isn't it? Once this one's out of the way, like you said, we've got Burnley, West Ham, Brighton, and then obviously got Tottenham, but Southampton, Norwich. I mean, there's fixtures there where they're going to pick up 1 or 2 clean sheets, and if Dean chips in with an assist here or there, you'll be laughing.
Yeah, I think it's Burnley clean sheet. I think West Ham probably not. Brighton maybe not either. But yeah, Burnley clean sheet possible. Tottenham at home, maybe. Southampton away, yeah. Norwich, possibly. So
I just like his attacking output as well. I think he's created the he's had the second most key passes of any defender after Trent. So yeah, even if he doesn't get a lot of, sorry, you were going to say, but yes,
but nobody's putting those chances in the goal. So he might be creating key passes and big chances, but nobody's finishing them. So he's not going to get assists if nobody's finishing.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. I wonder how Marco Silva's going to rectify that, because he just looks increasingly stressed and angry, doesn't he, on the sidelines? So
yeah, the fans are getting upset. They want Silva out. Yeah, I'm sure the board are getting twitchy fingers.
Yeah, it's funny really, because they've got so much good attacking talent with Walcott and with Sigurdsson, Bernard, Richarlison. Yeah. Sigurdsson, Bernard, Richarlison, Moise Kean, Iwobi. I mean, they've got some great players there, but and obviously Cenk Tosun and Dominic Calvert-Lewin are sort of backup players, but they've got like a broad range. You think that from that they can form a coherent sort of like front 3 or 4 that Dean can start whipping the balls into. So
yeah, I think on Totally Football Show as well, they said that it was the most expensive first 11 they've ever had.
Wow, okay.
Against Sheffield United. And obviously, whilst Sheffield United's first starting 11 is probably like a tenth of it, maybe. And it was something like over 300 million on their starting 11. So
wow, that's crazy. And also, I think they conceded the 2 goals from just like 1 shot on target, didn't they? I think Sheffield United had. So yeah, poor. Before we move on, I just want to shout out Kevin De Bruyne a little bit. So he's 7 assists now already in the Premier League. The record is 20. Do you think he's going to beat that? I mean, people have had really strong starts before. Remember, Fabregas had like 17 by Christmas, and Ozil had a really good number by Christmas as well.
Yeah, they mentioned that on the Total Football Show as well. I'm plugging them all over the place here, but like the guy said in that, is I think people can have good starts, but that's not gonna talk about the next 32 games or something like that. So who knows? Great start, but we'll just have to see.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to Sunday's fixture, which is Leicester against Newcastle. I think the main headline news from this one is Maddison looks like he's going to be out, doesn't he, with an injury? I think he's picked up.
Oh, is that definite? Is it?
Yeah, I think the assistant manager said it looks like he's not going to be good for the weekend. So
right.
That was after their game last night in the Carabao Cup.
See, I didn't hear that, and I thought he was going to be a good option, because I think he looked great, didn't he, in that game?
Yeah, he did. We'll talk to him about him anyway. Sell him to me for game week 9, because I think he'll be back for their away trip to Liverpool.
So obviously he knew about that stat of having the most shots in the league without a goal.
That was cute,
something
wasn't it?
like 31 shots. Which is, maybe that's wrong. Anyway, so yeah, versus Spurs, he had 4 shots, 2 on target and 2 in the box, which is good. He looked a real handful. But he's not creating as much as last year, which is a shame. But if he can up that again, then obviously Vardy isn't getting that much in the way of returns. So if he can start upping his sort of creativity for Vardy as well, then great, because they've got the fixtures to do it. Yeah, they're mentally good fixtures I've got up there, which is 2 top 6 teams for 10 weeks. And one of them being Arsenal, who obviously for Leicester they shouldn't be fearing Arsenal at all. No,
definitely not.
Leicester look like they're trying to be a top 6, top 4 team. And obviously coming out a home win against Spurs is a good start for that. Second best overall for expected goals conceded of 6.6, but they've only actually kept 1 clean sheet. So
that is strange, isn't it?
I'm not really sure how they're managing that second best, to be honest, but they've got great fixtures, so that should even go to the best expected goals conceded possibly. On the flip side, they got 15th overall for XG, but I'm expecting that to rise with obviously the good fixtures coming. Maybe Perez looks like he's possibly getting a bit of form. I don't know if you were trolling about the other day when you were talking to me, but I think he's had 2 assists in his last 2 now. Or wait, did he get an assist in the Premier League?
No, I'm not sure, but definitely some returns in the Carabao.
Yeah, okay. So I think it might have been that one that was ruled out actually for VIR. Anyway, he's getting in the positions a bit more, starting the last 2 games. So yeah, if Maddison's out, then maybe Perez can step up a little bit. And then Pereira, obviously, first attacking return of the season, 5.6% owned, 6 million. Obviously, it's quite a lot for a Leicester defender, but he's often quite streaky with his attacking returns. I've never owned him. I'd like to. I thought he looked really good, and they've got the fixtures to do it with hopefully a few clean sheets.
Yeah, I quite like. Is it Soyuncu? Is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah, 4.6.
Yeah, I really like him. Just having a look at his baseline bonus stats as well. 4.6, like you say, these great fixtures. It doesn't seem like too much of an investment in a Leicester defence, like you say, has got the second best expected goals conceded stat. They played some pretty good teams in the opening sort of 6 game weeks as well. If you think Chelsea, Tottenham, and Man United, looking at the results as a whole, they should have won that away game against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, and I don't know how they didn't produce anything, or how United kept a clean sheet against them at home.
I would have got him this week if I could afford him. I've got 0 in the bank now, so I had to go for Tomori, which is obviously probably just as good. But yeah, I think I would have gone for Sionchu because he's obviously nailed on filling the Maguire hole, and they've got just as good fixtures as Chelsea. So yeah,
and he's looking really good for baseline bonus. He's actually looking ahead a little bit. He's likely to come into my team week after this for Wan-Bissaka or Zinchenko, depends on which one sort of doesn't come in, and he'll be in my team so I can potentially upgrade elsewhere. But yeah, I like him. I like the look of Pereira as well, but 6 million does feel a lot for a Leicester defence that has kept 1 clean sheet, and obviously he's just picked up his first attacking return. But the fixtures are there, Kieran.
Yeah, I mean, Chilwell's 5.4.
Yeah. That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, so there's the other option. I think Evans is 5?
Yeah, he's 5, yeah. I like what Brendan's done with them. I mean, the fact that they're 3rd in the league after 6 game weeks having played, the teams I mentioned just a moment ago, is a pretty decent start for them. So expect them to kick on a little bit now.
What's Schmeichel? I think he's 5.
I think he's 5 as well, yeah.
I've not really looked at his sort of save percentage per game, but I imagine it's sort of up there. So even Schmeichel, maybe.
Yeah, I just feel like that I can't look past Soyuncu, really. It just seems like a cheap, nailed way to get into their defence with potential for bonus. If you have a look back about all their sort of like the match summaries of each of their 6 Premier League games this season, because I'm sad enough to have done that, you can see that he's like just on the edge of getting a bonus point in each game. So one of these times he's going to finally break into it, and when they pick up a clean sheet, he's definitely going to get bonus. So
yeah, he's got a little bit of aerial threat as well at corners. So
and I think
probably going to get something eventually.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be this weekend actually he gets a fair return. So Newcastle, I just can't get excited about them as an FPL team. I think they've only created 1 big chance away from home this season, which is the worst in the league. Second fewest amount of opposition penalty area touches in away games, and they've conceded 19 shots on target in away games this season, which is the second worst. So they're not good basically at either end of the pitch away from home. And the 5-4-1, it just kills me. I mean, they had a winnable game against Brighton at home and just were absolutely awful.
Yeah, almost sounds like a complete nailed-on clean sheet for Leicester, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, that's why I was almost considering taking another hit to get him in this week, but ahead of any rises. But I can't do that to my team. But yeah,
it's not worth it.
No, it's not. No, Jolinton 3 shots in the game against Brighton, 1 big chance. None on target. A game they have to win really to stay in this league. I had a look at Almirian as well. Like 74 minutes he played. He had 24 touches in 74 minutes. 24. Atsu, who played on the other flank, he played a bit longer. He had 40. So, I mean, how Almirian, who should be one of their most creative players, is only having 24 touches in a home game against Brighton. It's just atrocious. They got whipped on possession as well. It was something like 65-35. So, yeah, it's nothing. I can't see anything good around Newcastle apart from Andy Carroll at the moment, Kieran. And, we can't go there.
They need Longstaff back in there.
They do need Longstaff.
He was their just their Kante, I suppose, but obviously nowhere near as good. But did help them. Shelby's just not quite that player.
Yeah.
Well, I like that Saint Max man though. He looks fun.
Yeah, he does look fun, doesn't he? Don't know if he's gonna.
Not a great FPL asset though.
No, but he's fun to watch. Now then, Man United against Arsenal is the Monday night fixture. Do you want to rant a little bit about United just as instead of previewing them?
Okay, sure. I've got no players to mention. It's just a rant about everyone really. Okay. So, they've just got no depth. Obviously, Rashford off with like a groin injury or something. Pogba's still injured. I think they said he might get some minutes tonight. Martial's injured. Rashford obviously now injured. Greenwood was ill, so I imagine he'll probably be back. Obviously, we've got Lingard, who's just crap. Matta's old. Pereira, McTominay, Matta's just not good enough. Fred's a 50 million flop. Shaw's injured. Young is obviously absolute travesty. And then the only good thing is probably our defense, who are actually pretty good, like first or second overall for XGC.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Crazy, mental. But they're conceding because the midfield and the attack are just doing nothing. They're basically non-existent. So, just no depth. Like selling Sanchez and Lukaku with no replacements is just ludicrous for a big team, probably one of the biggest teams in the world. It's just mental, really. And James has looked great, but he can't be expected to carry the Man United attack coming straight from Swansea. He's what, like a 20-year-old kid, like from Wales. It's just, you can't put that pressure on that kid. He's just going to get swallowed up.
Yeah. I think it's just that the performance on Sunday was pretty turgid. Like you say, it's strange. The defensive numbers just are good, but they've just got nothing going forward, which excites me. And all these injuries. I just had a look at their team lineup for tonight. So actually, Pogba's come back into the team. Greenwood looks like he's recovered from his illness because he's leading the line behind a creative front, in front of a creative free of Pereira, Lingard, and Taif Chong. So a couple of academy players. I mean, they are playing Rochdale. Interestingly, though, the only player I think who's retained his position from the weekend. Do you want to guess who that might be? I'll give you a clue. I'll give you a clue. I own him.
Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah, the only player to make it through, which I'm quite surprised about. But anyway, probably just got no cover at right back.
It's Delo. Why can't Delo play?
Yeah, I don't know. Very odd. So anyway, I think you've summed up United pretty perfectly. So we're pretty down on them, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, they're fourth overall XG, crazily, as well, which is 9.97, and they've scored 8. But take away the XG for penalties, because we've had
probably
four
penalties, I think it is.
The XG is way down. It probably might be close to worse than the league at that point. So, just Man United. I think someone like Scholes or Roy Keane said something like, we're not going to be a top 4 team or a challenging title team. It might be top 6 or top 12.
Yeah. So, I mean, we can say what we want about managers now, because we obviously had Mourinho doing like a job last season. We now had Ollie in, but it's the players at the end of the day this season. They've let a lot of them go who they didn't think fit with the philosophy or cost a lot of money or whatever. Fair enough, but they haven't replaced them with any players. So we've got these academy players and young players, which is obviously difficult for them walking into a team and being expected to perform at a high level when they've not had any experience. So I just feel like they're on.
Stop writing about Man United because it's not about them.
No, it's true. It's not, is it? All right. Anyway, Arsenal, I thought they looked, a bit worrying as well. Like United at the weekend, obviously going behind twice against Villa. Aubameyang, the consistency's there. We said earlier, the only player to return in every game week. Got a yellow card, so only a 5-pointer in a game where you'd really think he would be a captain material, wouldn't you, at home against Villa? But obviously that was more than Mane, Sterling and the same as Salah this game week, so maybe it's not all bad. He had 5 shots in the box, 1 big chance.
Gave away his penalty as well.
Yeah, he did give away that penalty. 3 goals in the last 2 games since he's played centre forward, so the numbers are really good for Aubameyang. And if he's that way inclined, or you're that way inclined, you've got him in your team and you've got a premium forward, I think he's a fantastic option. I feel like we're a bit spoilt for choice of Aguero and Aubameyang, and even Kane and Son to some degree. There's a lot of choice this season.
I think he's a great option, but funnily enough, I think he'll probably blank this week.
Okay.
It's just classic United that they'll turn up in a big game after being crap against bad teams. Just our defense, like I said, has been good. I don't see him getting much from Maguire and Lindelof, really. No. So.
Well, that's why I'm playing Wan-Bissaka this weekend. I actually feel like a Monday night game with the United. Well, it's so bad that I'm saying, with the crowd behind them. That's not really like a stat, but I just feel like it'll be a good game for United against Arsenal. I thought Pepe looked good against Villa again. 5 shots, got handed the penalty, but like you, I don't think he'll. I think they said afterwards, didn't they, that because Aubameyang handed it to him, it seems like Aubameyang's on him full time.
Yeah, I should have just kept with Pepe on the Cougars. Like I said, I just need to keep picking him until he returns to something, because he's eventually going to get something. And 5 shots is still good, isn't it? So he just needs to finally just finish some.
Yeah, and his numbers look great compared to other forwards and mids who are more expensive. So he's had 8 shots in the box, which is the joint second most of all forwards and midfielders in the last 3, and created 1 big chance in that time too. So I feel like sooner or later, and probably with this fixture run after United, Bournemouth, Sheffield United, Crystal Palace and Wolves, the numbers are going to start coming in, and Pepe is going to look like, oh my god, we need Pepe, oh my god, we need Son. Kieran, we need so many players. We need a bigger squad.
If De Bruyne wasn't looking so amazing, then Pepe and Son would be in so many other teams.
Maybe we're missing a trick. All these people getting rid of Sterling, they're getting onto players we should be having.
Well, they just haven't done it yet, though. That's the problem.
No.
Like Sterling has the ability to obviously still go massive. So
yeah. All right. Well, should we wrap up then a little bit by talking about captaincy very briefly? It looks like you're on Salah.
Yes, for the time being. I assume he's not playing tonight in the Carabao Cup.
I haven't actually checked, but I'd be really surprised if he was.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be on Salah.
Well, like you, I do really like Salah for this fixture. If I had Salah in my team, I'd captain him, but I don't fancy Mane any more than De Bruyne. And I think just De Bruyne's consistency when he's played this season, his average number of points is looking really good. And his baseline bonus is so good as well. So even if he does return assist, he's likely to end up picking up bonus. And yeah, doubling that for a captaincy, it's almost like getting another assist from him. So yeah, I'm quite comfortable with De Bruyne against Everton this weekend. So let's hope he can produce more like last week.
I feel like it might just be like a 1-0 to City, something like that. So I don't think they're going to blow Everton away. Yeah. And I think Salah against Sheffield United, it'll probably be tight as well, but I think he could probably get like a goal and assist. So probably just about do better than someone like De Bruyne.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay, well, I can see your logic behind it. And like I say, if I had Salah, I'd captain him for this game week, but I don't. And I think De Bruyne is my most reliable of the remaining bunch, really. I think there's quite a lot of good options this week, just because there's a lot of spread fixtures. I think Abraham could be a good option.
Yeah.
I think Son and Kane both look like good options. Even Callum Wilson, actually. I know West Ham have kept 3 clean sheets on the bank, but I quite like that fixture.
That won't continue. No.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about our Cougar Cup picks then, because it sounds like I've been excited basically for about 24 hours. You know who I'm going to pick. Are you going to block me?
Well, whose turn is it to go first? I think it's your turn, to be honest. So you go for it.
Go on then. You probably know who I'm going to say, so you may as well say it for me.
I think you can say Alonso.
I'm going to say Marcus Alonso.
Yeah.
Kieran, you called it.
No.
Go Alonso.
Go on then. You can have him.
Yes. Well, it's just that Emerson's out. He came on. He's got an assist recently against Wolves. Chelsea have got a plum fixture. I feel like it could be a big return. Stretch this Cougar Cup lead out to more than 10 points. Woo!
Right.
You need to start pulling it back, mate.
I did have, randomly, I had Jota down here.
Did you?
Yeah, but I'm not going to pick him now. I'm going to pick Firmino. He's under 15% still.
Oh, God. All right.
So, yeah.
Okay, so Firmino's your main, Jota's your backup. I better have a backup if Alonso gets ruled out like last week, hadn't I? Gosh, I hadn't really had a chance to think about that. Give me a moment.
Yarmolenko?
Yeah, actually, that's not a bad shout. Yeah, I'll take Yarmolenko because I mentioned him in our Cougars differentials video this week, and I do quite like him, actually. Yep. Yeah, good shout for me. Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, should we just talk about clean sheets quickly? I think Chelsea are going to get one this weekend.
Yep. I've got Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City, and Leicester. Those are the obvious ones to me.
Yeah, I think so. I think they look good. I'd maybe even add Spurs into that list as well, actually, at home against Southampton.
Possibly United.
I think there could be quite a few hanging around this weekend. I know which team there definitely won't be one for, and that's Everton. So he is going to be firmly rooted on my bench. Splinters in his backside, I think.
I just hope Zinchenko plays, because I can see a clean sheet for City.
Yeah, I know. It'd be gutting if he didn't, and I get Dean off the bench. Ugh. That'd be criminal.
Is he first bench for you, is he?
Nah, second bench at the moment, but Greenwood first bench.
I think Greenwood would probably play,
I was actually, when we talk about our lineup and our transfers, we've already talked about our transfers a little bit. I'm actually really quite tempted, if Greenwood had come through tonight and he'd not been ill, to play Greenwood over Cantwell as like a real maverick move this game week.
I like it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, he is fit now, so why not do it?
He's fit, and Rashford's out, Martial's out. He's playing centre forward tonight.
Bunch instead of Cantwell.
Yeah. Chelsea just conceded in the Carabao Cup against Grimsby.
I assume tomorrow he's not playing, right?
No, he's not playing. Who is playing? Marcus Alonso's playing. The hero.
Well, he has to. But he's terrible at defending, isn't he?
Kurt Zuma's playing. Callum Hudson-Odoi is making his first start.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're already 2-1 up, but no involvement for him.
Not playing, and Mount and
no one. Basically, hardly anyone from the weekend's playing. In fact, no one from the weekend's playing, apart from Alonso. Right, that was our live update. I love a live update. Yes. I love a live update. Because that'll be out of date for everyone when they listen to this. Cool. All right. I think that's everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thanks everyone.
Long one again.
It was a long one. That's all right. We just got a bit chatty tonight. I like it. Thanks everyone for joining us. We'll be back next week with our game week 8 preview, and then it's an international break, Kieran. Oh my gosh. Wildcard time. Yeah, wildcard time. Woo! We'll do a wildcard video. If you've got any questions in the meantime about your team, please comment on the video. And while you're down there, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Tweet us at FPL Cougars. We're also on Apple and Spotify. You'll find us. Just type it in, and it'll be great. Cool. So until next week, it's goodbye from me.
Cheers and good luck, everyone.
Bye-bye, everyone.